God has poured. He has given abundantly. And you and I are vessels to receive that.
There's more than enough in an economy where everything is saying that there's nothing.
It's business God's way.
Yeah. You are evergreen in every season, right?
Two people blessed at two different things and building this big vision together. I'm amazing at selling.
Yeah.
Everything that we've learned thus far and everything that we will be learning during execution, we want to openly share that.
This is not a rebrand, but it's actually a rebirth. And I'm so excited, guys, to introduce and say, welcome to Abundance.
For those of you who have been with us from the very crusty episode 1, then you know how big this moment is. This is literally exactly how it is in scripture. You know when they say the old has passed away and the new has been born again? That's exactly what this moment is for us. And it's so big, you guys. Like I'm almost brought to tears just thinking of what this moment is. Because for us, it's not just a gorgeous new studio. It literally is almost like a manifestation of our promises that like I feel like God made to us years ago. A vision that nobody else saw, but we have been committed to from day one. So this is almost like everything was only in our minds, conversations that we wouldn't even dare to have with anyone else in the room because it just sounded too stupid. Now it's out in the open and we're so excited to bring you guys along with us, to invite you literally into our minds. Because I think we have such powerful conversations. We have such powerful insights. And we're gorgeous girlies on a gorgeous mission.
Imagine.
With so much to share. And this is what abundance is all about. I think to just like make you guys maybe even understand the significance of this moment, it'll be best if we take you all like way, way back. I think I just remembered actually right now that the fact that you actually introduced me to Jesus. I always tell people whenever they ask me, how did you get saved? It was literally through, I think they call it, Christians these days call it holy jealousy.
Oh, okay.
I remember a few days after we met, we were walking home together because we realized we lived so close to one another. And as we were walking, and you guys, like, it's this essence of we literally spoke the same language. Like, from the day that I met her, I was like, okay, she's gorgeous, she's smart, she looks rich, I'm definitely befriending her. And literally, we just clicked. It's like we spoke the same language. Like, y'all, I am married and I love my husband, but I always say, like, Liz is my soulmate. Elizabeth's my soulmate in the sense that, like, we almost like connect spiritually in a way that like I cannot even explain it. Like before you even speak or say the word, like I understand you, I get it. And I felt that from like the very first conversation we had. So on this day, we're walking back from school and you would always talk about Jesus like it's this uncle that you had at home and like
the nice uncle.
This nice uncle you had at home and y'all were so tight. And that I remember when I prayed the salvation prayer, all I said in my bedroom was like, God, that Jesus that Elizabeth is talking about, that's what I want. I want to experience that. And I think from that moment, that was high school, grade 10. We've been inseparable. Like literally, I would come to your house every single day from that day.
At some point, you even lived with me.
At some point, I even lived with you. At some point, I even lived with you. I'm just trying to put you guys into context of the relationship that we have. But I think more than anything, we stayed together first year. So we're inseparable throughout high school. We went to 2 different universities, but we forced, okay?
We forced hard.
Exactly. I was at Wits doing accounting. You're at UJ doing industrial psychology. And we literally first year, we stayed in the same race, right? And obviously, the following year, I can't even remember what happened, but the separate schools eventually did its thing, and we ended up staying apart. And I remember there's this year where we didn't speak for a while. And one thing and this is why I keep on saying, like, Stella, you're my soulmate. When ever we go for a while without talking, I know it's like it's either I'm going through it, glowingly. We went without speaking for a long time
It
because
was a
like
depressing
it
year.
was a really depressing year. Like school was kicking me. That's when I actually realized accounting was not going to work for me, guys. That year was the year when I decided I would be an entrepreneur because, hey, I was literally going. But on my birthday, we met up together and we went out. And I remember we took our journals with us. I just remember in that restaurant that like we literally cried and we're like literally in a really nice place with people having a good time around us.
Yes.
But we're literally like the conversations we're having were so deep. And mind you, we have deep conversations all the time. In fact, I don't think we ever have any shallow conversations. But the conversation was so deep that day, like all we did was cry. And at some point in time, we then started writing contracts. Why? I don't know. I feel like the business thingy in us is just like we wrote contracts in these diaries, and we wrote contracts, and like I believe in your light so much. Like one thing, like I've always known from the day that I met you, like I believe in you so much. And I believe in myself when I'm with you. And I remember what we wrote in those contracts is that like we literally said, we are going to build something together. We knew, like the conversation was literally around the fact that like, I know you'll be powerful. I know you'll be rich.
And
I'm
I
just
said,
asking, don't leave me behind.
I remember even saying in that conversation that there's no way you would fail at anything.
Exactly.
And in that moment, we were like, if you can't fail and I can't fail, imagine what we could build together.
Exactly. And we wrote those contracts and we signed them. And when we got back home that day, you're like the worship we entered into. Like we cried and we prayed in tongues for hours. And I remember it was almost like I felt in my spirit that God was calling me to something. And I literally I wish it was the vlogging days.
Right?
This was a
We would
good
have
moment
vlogged
of vlog. What a good moments of vlog. But like I remember you almost like you were telling me what God was saying in your spirit, and I was telling you what God was saying in my spirit, and it was so in sync. And from that day onwards, when we signed those contracts and we had that amazing explosion of worship, all we've done was always come back to the fact that there's this bigger picture, there's this bigger calling that I feel like we're called to together. And we've never downplayed it.
Yeah.
We've never downplayed it.
Yeah. Like literally, I remember when I completed my undergrad, right? And I completed one of top of my entire department, right? And the first thing that happened was I got an opportunity in Cape Town. And that was not even for something I studied for, but I was like, the bag was like, it was really cute though. And I remember coming to you and essentially asking like, does this fit into the bigger picture? And I remember rejecting it. In the girl in me was like, girl, are you serious? Like you're letting go of red bottom type money, right? And yeah, I left it and we moved on, and got into honors again. And honors, we separated
And
again.
if you even remember why you took honors, you had an opportunity. It was either honors, this really amazing ass job, and we're like, if you take this amazing ass job, you will never quit.
I knew I was never gonna quit. I literally knew that. And even when I was going into my master's, the same thing. And I remember with my master's, it became tricky because then I had multiple options, and I literally, if we don't downplay it, right? The lady I reported to, my manager, right, when I told her that actually I'm deciding to go into my master's because that was more in alignment to what we were building, right? She said to me, and I quote, are you looking for an internship or are you looking to grow your career? Like that's how deep it was within a space of 3 months, y'all. And this was a position I did not even apply for, And I remember all these times, and every time I was like rejecting these offers, in the back of my head was a conversation of, you're being a fool, right? But when I would pray about it and when I would meet you, it's a conversation of, this is the bigger picture. And I think what makes it so emotional for me when I think back to it is the fact that we didn't even know what the bigger picture was.
Exactly. Like, we were literally being so foolish. I think, to give you context of while all of that was happening, right? Straight out of varsity, I decided that I just knew corporate was just not for me. I decided I would not go look for a job. Immediately, I start the business. And a lot of people don't know this, but Dolphin was actually the second business I started.
Yep.
The first business we started together. We called it Simple Branding. I remember we actually started it a few days. It was actually the weekend when we prayed.
Yep.
Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that. The weekend when we, after the week of my birthday, when we literally had that, like, we signed that contract, so that we started a business same time. We started Simple Branding. I knew, like, I feel like I've always had like this, like, understanding and Nick. I feel like it's something almost like, hi guys, the God-given gift. I would not even be shy to say it. Like, I feel like marketing has always been like a God-given gift that I had in me. And at the time, there was this opportunity. I was like, nah, let's pitch to the rest where I was living, pitch to do their marketing. And for me saying pitch to do their marketing, you and your very corporatized and kind of brain were like, nah, we're doing a proper pitch. And we stayed up all night, like 2 days straight, without sleeping, not doing, and we were working on that pitch. Like, literally, we poured everything. We worked so hard to pour everything that we knew into that pitch to make it work out. A few days later, we hired my boyfriend, who is now my husband.
Yep. My boyfriend at the time.
They were our first employees. Like, literally, we registered the company. We made them sign contracts.
And there were other employees as well.
Yes, we had like 3 other people. We
Yeah.
had 5 employees in total. The company was registered. We had 5 employees in total. We even had the business emails, y'all. I still have the emails.
And we sent the emails. Yes.
If you even go on Instagram, look for Simple Branding, you'll see the page. We literally posted. We literally posted. And thinking of, like, just even thinking about it now, like, was such a force. Because when I think of, like, what we did in literally, I think it was 2 weeks. The amount of action that we took in those 2 weeks. Okay, so we're on fire in this business. And corporate starts to corporate, because corporate is corporate. Corporate starts to corporate because corporate is corporate. And also, like, the social media thing, it's like it's not picking up as we expected. Obviously, it's like, it's becoming hard to navigate, like, logistics. I remember we're even planning on going maybe company to company to start pitching. And then in my mind, I start thinking, oh my God, like, let me move on to number 2, right? So Simple Branding was still up and running, but I was like, Liz has a full-time job. Like, let me start this business that I know is going to make us money. In fact, not even. I was like, how will people trust that we can market their business if we don't have proof, right? Like, I knew we needed credibility. So I was like, let me start the second business. Because I remember when I made the decision that I'd be an entrepreneur, I made a list of like 10 different businesses that would go into. Simple Branding was number 1, Dolthema was number 2, and there was 3, 4, 5 until number 10. So I was like, let me move on to number 2, right? If I started Dolthema and literally made it explode on social media, people would know that we are really good at marketing, and it will be so much easy to bring business into Simple Branding. So, like, literally, Dolthema for me was almost like Yazin, let me do this for us. Let me re-engineer, let's re-strategize exactly how we're gonna get clients. So I start Dolthema, and little did I know that it would actually explode. It would explode so much that I ended up being like so consumed with like building and growing and trying to manage Dolthema, because it literally, I don't like to use the word exploded overnight, but like that's almost like exactly what feels like happened. Because I literally, like, I started it, and which is why it's God. It's really God. And I feel like we were speaking about it the other day with how, like, abundance has been our testimony.
Yeah, it's been our story. Yeah.
Like, literally. Because I feel like when I look at your journey, I've never heard anyone in corporate ever say that I have too many options. Like, your issue has never been looking for a job. It's always been deciding which job to take.
And I think the reality of it, right, when I look and reflect in my journey, so obviously with the undergrad, right, I did feel like I got that cum laude by mistake, like genuinely so. And most people, when they think of it, it's a conversation of, no, but it's psychology. Darling, I did accounting, I did economics, I did business. Like, we did statistics, I coded in R,
And she
okay?
girl was coming back number 98%. Like, can we not downplay
Like,
this?
and for me it really, I don't really see myself as, like, the academics type of person,
Yeah.
right? I'm really just really good at building systems, right? So I incorporated them, right?
Yeah.
So even going into my honors, right, and the people I networked with and the conversations I was having, I was learning systems, I was learning networking, I was learning businesses, I was learning, industry, right? And when it came to masters itself, and when we had to actually make the decision, and I remember also at masters when we started building the systems for Toltema. That was a very hard project, right? So, and I remember there is actually videos. I remember we sat in this around this table, and we actually, started, positioning. This person sits there, this system is there, and all of that stuff. And my biggest thing at the time was, we're just girls. What are we doing?
Sure.
And in the back of my mind, if I think of it now, it's a conversation of also like what the enemy really does say to you in the back of your mind when you have purpose and when you're working towards something, and that held me back for the longest. But when I look at where the business was then,
Yeah.
to a point where it is now, where it's across like it's in multi locations, right? It really also does speak to the abundance, the
Exactly.
abundance of resources, of knowledge, of wisdom, of hope and courage, because it really did take courage, And for me, just listening to you, it really is a reflection that even though we separated, right? Parallelly, we were building skills that enabled the purpose of abundance, right? Which is definitely still going to grow into so much, you guys. So much.
I'm even thinking the context you put into Dothema. So I use my amazing social media skills, my amazing talent of selling, and Dothema kicks off. And can I just, and I have to give you credit here, Dothema, when especially in the chaos of growth, like my business is so young, and it grew so quickly that I'd have like experts and mentors tell me it's gonna die out of too much demand.
Yeah.
Like, that's what people would say. People would look at everything, but like the way, at the scale at which you're going, your business is gonna explode and it'll crash. And I remember the meetings would have. I'd remember like the Excel sheets you'd make for us, and the team meetings that we'd have. Like, it literally almost looked like it was stupid, because at the time I had hired my mom, my cousin, and I don't know who else, but we never ever treated Totema like a small business. We operated it like a corporate.
Yeah.
We put in structures, and I feel like that's the only reason we survived. That's the only reason we grew and thrived. And that's the only reason why till today we're still experiencing almost the same level of demand and excellence and high level that we had from the very beginning. There was never a dip, because it was systematic. And it's exactly what you said, with the fact that we went our separate ways and acquired these different skills, but like, they're skills that complement each other so well. Like, when I think of what my purpose is, first of all, like I mentioned, I'm amazing at selling.
Yeah.
And deep down, I genuinely believe I'm a good storyteller.
You are.
And I love to teach. And put that together with your purpose.
For me, I'm like the person who walks into a room and there's like a lot of chaos and there's like a lot of creativity. And I'm like, okay, how can we pull it all together and scale? I'm genuinely that person. You give me chaos, I'll give you structure and beauty. And I remember one of my leads actually this year, he was telling me, and I remember, I think I called Shuduvane about it afterwards. He was like, I think you're a bit too good at your job, right? And this was from a conversation of, I feel like I feel like when I reflect on it, right, I feel like it's like it's God given, right? Because it doesn't come naturally, right? Especially if you are from a profession like mine that is extremely, like, there's a lot of controls and legals and all of that stuff, meaning the people in our field are specialists majority of the time. I mean, the minimum is a master's degree. Like, people have been in industry for 12 years, 11 years, and when you come into a meeting, the genuine question is, okay, what do you have to say about it? I'm just like,
Sure.
I'm just a girl, y'all. So I genuinely feel like my purpose is creating structures and systems. So I corporify, that little dream of yours that feels like a side hustle. But it also is founded in the corporates I've worked for,
Sure.
whether it was the top employers, whether it was the side gigs, whether it was a passion project. I've seen that come up in myself. And if you remember correctly, how we set up to say that we wanted to be teachers, right? And I remember everybody was like, you guys are copying each other.
Literally, I remember I came back. I was like, I have an amazing idea. I'm gonna be a teacher, and my philosophy was the fact that school knocks off at 2 o'clock. So after two, I'd be able to work on the on the business, and then during school holidays, you'll work on the business and have vacation. Like that was high school.
No, really. And I remember when I told my dad that, no, I'm going to be a teacher, he was like, child, I'm not trying to pay you money in the future, as a joke, of course, right? And for me, it was a thing of, it's very easy to simplify information and share that information,
Yeah.
right? Although I really do enjoy dealing with the complex information.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I also really do appreciate the growth that has come along the way, because there were times where it felt like there was nothing that was happening. It was slow, it was quiet. And then all of a sudden, last year and this year, there's just been an outflow of literally everything I could, like, the way I've been taking things off my, list has been like, God is actually so gracious,
Sure.
And I was even reflecting in terms of like, the bigger vision and where we are and so forth. And it's like, the scripture that speaks about like a tree planted on the riverside.
Yeah.
You are evergreen in every season, right? And it goes back to principles.
Yeah.
And if I had to say what is abundance for me, the space that we're sitting in right now, right? I would say it's a platform to share practical experience, right? Case studies of what are we actually doing? Because I feel like there's a lot of people who don't share what it is they're doing. It's a conversation of, this is what you must do, this is what you must do. And it's honestly fluff, And it's also a platform that just reminds me that there's more than enough in an economy where everything is saying that there's nothing.
Literally, I think what abundance is, it's business God's way.
Yeah.
And I think, to just summarize everything that we just said, you have two people blessed at two different things and building this big vision together. And what we're saying is that we're going to take you along with us.
Yep.
And that everything that we've learned thus far and everything that we will be learning during execution, we want to openly share that. We want to openly have those conversations and just teach. Because, like I said, selling is my passion, but teaching is my calling. We want to like openly have those conversations so that we are not only demonstrating by teaching by example what it means to have purpose and profit, what it means to have excellence.
Yeah.
There's this thing that sticks with me and that makes me so mad, which is the fact that kingdom businesses are
Sure.
always the worst.
Sure.
And how literally I heard someone say it, I was like, actually, like, you're not too wrong. Usually Christians who run businesses, like, it's so, I don't know if it's a matter, if it's a thing of they have this belief that, oh, God's gonna do it, that they don't go all in, they don't push as hard, they don't, like, we want to change that. We want to remind you and like make it known to you the fact that God has poured, He has given abundantly, and you and I are vessels to receive that, to put that into action. We're here to dominate.
Yeah.
We've been given dominance. You've been given everything you need. And it is actually it's our God-given responsibility to pour out.
And I think just listening to what you're saying, it's also our responsibility to be loud about it, right?
Yeah.
Because the honest truth is that there are actual Christian businesses that are doing well. But it's just that many a time, the vessels that make the most noise are the vessels which are doing the wrong thing. So the people who are actually, executing excellence, right? These people, we don't actually, get to know them on, public platforms because they're hidden in a book somewhere, It's some beautiful knowledge somewhere that they keep for, their special people. But I do believe that there are people who are doing great work. We are saying that we want to do it out loud so that it becomes an abundant thing, Because even when I do, I do a lot of coaching and psychometric feedbacks and all of that stuff. And many a times when you share these things with people, like, we go through your strengths, we go through your areas of development, and we speak about your career aspects, leadership coaching, or whatever the case is. People know what their greatness is. And it's just a thing of, it's just not said out loud. And when you start pinpointing these things out loudly, that what about this? Have you considered this? Why are you downplaying this? And you actually create, that action pinpoint, those little tables that we draw when we're having those tough discussions, right?
Yeah.
Putting it out makes people realize that it's a possibility. And I think that's what abundance is. It's like abundance of courage to actually walk into your identity, I believe. And I love how you describe us as vessels. It ate.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think, in summary, Abundance the podcast is definitely not fluff.
No.
Abundance the podcast is not a motivational talk.
No.
It's not business advice from people not building businesses. Okay, it's literally like real life lessons from what we're experiencing, from what we are building, and more than anything, it's purpose.
Yeah.
It literally is purpose. And I think my hope, and not even my hope, my knowing, is that this is about to be the biggest business podcast in the entire continent. Okay?
Clock it.
Literally. We don't want you to come here and we speak about like really motivational things that make you feel good. We want you to come and just clock into an episode, and you have your notebook out, and by the end of it, you have things that you can actually put into action. By the end of things, you have value to take away. You have action steps to actually go and experiment with.
I like that. But can I just say, can we keep the unraveling segment of
Definitely.
unraveling? Because I think it really is nice to know the unlearnings and the learnings of the session. Yeah.
Genuinely. I think what I have unraveled in this episode is the fact that God has been orchestrating things all along. I think this idea, I'm unlearning the fact that I'm clueless. I'm unlearning this lie that I told myself that like I'm almost, because in my mind, it almost like throughout these years, it's felt like we've been shooting blind.
Yeah.
And we're now, I feel like from this conversation, I've actually learned that like God is actually, he's putting things together. Everything is exactly as it should at the time. Like this moment is literally like divine timing.
Yeah.
Right after we've learned everything we needed to learn, experienced everything we needed to experience, is the time where God's actually like, it's time for abundance.
I like that.
What have you unlearned?
I think what I'm unraveling is that we deserve to walk in abundance.
Sure.
I remember when I got my award, was it last week, right?
Nah, you guys, Elizabeth always downplays everything. Let me just give y'all context. In her entire department, do you know how big a department of a university is? She was number one. Because you were cum laude year 1, year 2, year 3, even cum laude in the masters, and not just any kind of cum laude. Number one.
Okay.
And she got an award for it.
Yes. Thank you for the description, darling.
Okay. You're welcome.
So yeah, and I remember I was sat there, And guys, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was literally in awe. Like, when they called me to the podium, and mind you, in that room, there were literally politicians, there were international people, there were so many big people, right? And when I stood up, I literally saw that, okay, a couple of people were shocked, like, what? Because I naturally, I feel like I look young, right? So it was a thing of, okay, maybe she's here for undergrad, or maybe she's here for, So when I stood up and I went to take it, and I shook the hand of our head, and he literally said, "I'm so proud of you," right? And I went to sit down, and it took me 2 days to process before I actually told people that, guys, this is actually what happened. And in this section, I think I'm unraveling that we deserve to walk in abundance. We have done what we're supposed to do, and now it's time to actually allow God to show off.
Listen, I love it. I think that's exactly what abundance is, come to think of it. Abundance is God's platform for Him to show off. Because God genuinely shows off in my life. And I speak about Tothema a lot.
Yes,
I'm
as you
not sure-
should.
I'm not sure what is repetition, but like just to give those who don't have context, like Dolthima is thriving.
It
Like
is.
we dress celebrities, we ship internationally on a daily. Okay, we our numbers are healthy. Our demand is forever sky high. Like it literally is a representation of like abundance. And I think what this platform is also just like also make you guys understand that like it's systems and structure.
Yeah.
Yes, it's God's blessing, but God blesses what's in your hands.
Yeah.
And one thing about Liz and I, Sipizi, a lot is in our hands. A lot is in our hands. And we take a lot of time, we do a lot of learning, we do a lot of research, like we do a lot of thinking and brainstorming.
A lot of
and
working.
a whole lot of working. And it's just I feel like it would be so nice and such an honor to just carry you guys along on some of those conversations, because I know there's so much value for so many people to take away. Yeah.
And for anyone who's not new to this platform, we got a name, y'all.
Yes. If you guys remember Unravel, and like I loved y'all, I loved Unravelers. That was, I was so against that name. It just felt like Super Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But Abundance has a beautiful name. Have a beautiful name for you guys. And I hope you Unravelers will be just as proud to put down the Unravelers title and take upon vessels.
Vessels of abundance.
Exactly, because God pours out abundantly, right? And
You
us as
contain.
vessels contain.
So yeah, that's our episode for today.
That's it for today's episode, you guys. We hope you will always remember that God has poured out abundantly and we are the vessels.